Welcome to another Fiscal Fridays with Fred. I know I've taken a bit of a summer break. I'm coming back. I'm going to bring you into the twilight zone, at least the fiscal twilight zone. So you've probably heard or read that Idaho, like many states, got money from the federal government, from the CARES Act, from ARPA, all sorts of acronyms. What does this mean? Why should you care? Well, the federal government spit out to all of the states, the citizens, about $3.6 trillion. How much is that? Well, just a few years ago, that's what the federal government would spend on everything. Defense, education, border security, everything. And now they're just spending that on COVID. What was Idaho's share? Well, to date, it's been about $18 billion. Does that sound like a lot? Well, it's about $10,000 a person. We have about 1.8 million people. In 2019, the state appropriated all funds, about $9 billion, and now we're getting $18 billion. What does that mean? Well, think about your household. If you had an income of $90,000 a year and someone showed up and they gave you $180,000, what would you do? $180,000 more. Would you go out and buy a new vehicle? Would you try to move into a bigger house? Would you think, gee, is this gift going to keep giving? Should I not buy a bigger house and pay a bigger mortgage? You might not know what to do, but you certainly would be tempted to spend money on frivolous things. For centuries, for decades, most of us have heard that it's important to be thrifty, to delay gratification, and now what's happening is all that is being thrown out the window. As I said, Idaho has gotten $10,000 per person from the federal government. And that includes money for education and money for businesses, and certainly some of it was justified because the federal government shut us down in 2020. But where does this go? And I think that's the big fear. Everyone thinks that the state is flush with money. Well, it should be. We got $18 billion. But what sort of fiscal habits are going to change with this kind of spending? We don't know. Will it continue? There's some promise from Biden that there's going to be an infrastructure package. But the danger is when you throw this much money into an economy like Idaho's, it's driving inflation. Why are things going up in price? Well, there's more money chasing the same number of goods. Home prices are up, rents are up. These are the consequences. And yet none of this money is earned. As the governor admitted, this money is borrowed from our grandkids. So think of it this way. You're a household, you get $180,000. And you say, where is this coming from? Oh, that little grandkid, we're giving him a $180,000 debt, but he's only 2 or she's only 2. They've got 80 years to pay it off. And you say, I don't want that money because I don't want my grandkids to have that debt. Well, sorry, sir, but if you don't take that money, we're going to give it to your crazy cousins in California, and they're going to spend it in ways that are worse than what you're going to do. And your grandkid's still going to get the bill. That is actually the fiscal bargain that's taken place. Idaho's been told, if you don't spend the money, we give it to other states. So you've got to saddle your grandkids with the debt. It's an amoral bargain, and it's going to have huge consequences, some of which we're seeing now in inflation in Idaho and homes and everything else that we buy. Thank you for listening to another Fiscal Fridays with Fred.